Sometimes, knowing where you come from is not about retracing your steps to the place you were born.
It is about knowing who has brought you where you stand, whether they ran alongside you or set you running in the first place.
There is still so much to say about the manner of our bones.
This is not a poem about the bruises going wild as orchids against my brother's skin. I'd be lying if I wrote you a beautiful metaphor for pain.
As if poetic justice does any justice at all.
Do you know what fear looks like, whether etched red on the face of a 4-year-old boy,
or pale on the same face a decade later,
that still rehearses the instinct of flight? I often wonder if he'll flinch 10 years from now, when the first girl yearns to hold his face.
I wonder if he, varsity captain, outruns his opponents by imagining she's still chasing him.
Mama's hands always pose more of a threat than her feet, but I'll tell you, she has the softest hands in the morning, that she's quiet.
Like our house is quiet when she sleeps.
Her hair smells like breakfast
and linen, and she believes in tradition,
insisting on everyone's presence around the dining room table,
even if it means the absence of their voices.
Let me return to her hands.
Her hands look 30 years older than they should.
Her hands like a cigarette burning the day I look too much like my father. But I'll tell you, she has the softest hands.
Her palms bleached from a childhood, scrubbing backbones in a family of 9.
Her fingernails blackened from the acid of her youth. But I'll tell you still, she has the softest hands. Her hands wide like my brother's eyes.
Her hands the size of my little sister's face.
She has never laid a hand on my sister's face. So it's true. My mother has the softest hands.
If I follow closely the lines on her hands,
they tell more about my history than my future. Fear has 3 children, and she teaches them to survive the back of her own hand.
And they learn this dance so well,
they forget
how to place their arms around her when they visit home.
Because they never learned how. But I am trying to learn how to even speak to her on a phone.
To even speak to her on a phone.
I am trying not to grow jealous of the children speaking in their mother tongue.
But speaking in my mother's tongue begins with recognizing her voice.
And ends with a reply that does not run or fear.
But reaches out.
Like these hands know they were born from her.